How you nerds doing? It's Kowloon. I have something very special in store for you today. Crusader Kings 3. What is it? Crusader Kings 3 is a delusion of grandeur simulator that spans across the entirety of the known medieval world. In this world, you are charged to become a great ruler, to conquer many lands, and span your newfound kingdom across Europe, Africa, and Asia. Or you can just be a fat fornicator that spreads disease. I'm not one to judge. Graphics. The game is simple. Not much going on in the graphical fidelity department, but I personally don't really care about that. Lots of modern games overindulge the player with constant flashes, notifications, high-resolution textures, and hyper-autistic attention-grabbing glowy shit that's designed to keep the attention of children with no imagination. This game looks as it should. Simple, easy to differentiate between borders, factions, kingdoms, religions, and cultures. That being said, the graphics overall are sort of nice for this kind of game. Simple, straightforward, and dynamic enough to give the player a good understanding of what's going on without too much crap being thrown at your face. The UI can seem somewhat daunting and hard to understand at first, and Crusader Kings 3 does a good job with simplistic tutorials to explain what exactly is going on. But you're going to read. Yes, you heard me. Read words. I know this is spooky for a lot of low IQ gamers out there, but Crusader Kings 3 is super text heavy. The game does not rely so much on showing you what's going on, but explaining what is going on. Much like how it might have been if you actually ruled a kingdom. The Queen of France does not glow with a yellow light to show that she's contracted an STD. She simply has pimples on her face, and a text prompt will describe you finding blisters on her nether region and let you decide what to do from there. Audio. For me, audio is super important to a game's immersion factor. Crusader Kings 3's general audio is simplistic yet palatable. When something bad happens, the notification sound is obvious. When something good happens, the notification sound is obvious. Zooming into battles, city construction, or any other global event and hearing the clashes of swords, the hammering of nails, or the music from a feast is a nice touch that helps with fleshing out the events happening on your map. Not totally groundbreaking, but comfy in its own right. The music is pretty damn great. Depending on your culture and location on the map, you may very well hear totally different scores that help you feel like you're an autistic king in your realm. Declaring a holy war really does get my blood flowing. Gameplay. You start off in 867 or 1066 AD, depending on which world you'd like to start in. You have the option to create your own ruler in any kingdom or landship you want, or choose a ruler that's already in place. If you want to be the Grand King of the Holy Roman Empire, you can. If you want to be a peasant lord that inbreeds with his concubines until his children become deformed and mentally challenged, you can. Trying this game for the first time? I recommend creating your own ruler with as many positive traits as you can. Even if your guy is essentially the Giga Chad of early medieval Europe, you're still going to have limitations on which people you can influence and what you can do, so you won't be too broken no matter how amazing you are. Being a Roman, I have the Latin Roman culture, which has its own skill tree of researchables. The Cisalpine Italians don't really have a problem with me, but the damn Gauls always have a bone to pick. You, the player, have the ability to influence other leaders, their children, bishops, and just about anyone in their kingdom to do your bidding. The success of these influences is determined by your skills and traits, which are also influenced by your lifestyle choice. Your traits have a chance to be passed down to your children if they are inheritable. To name just a few, intelligence and beauty are inheritable traits, but so are clubbed feet and retardation, so you have to be careful with whom you breed. Sometimes marrying off your prodigal son to a troglodyte dwarf who has scaly skin is worth the genetic deformities for a spot in the kingdom. She is the queen after all. Every little interaction you have in the game boils down to your language, religion, culture, and lifestyle choice as a leader. Lifestyles are the skill trees of Crusader Kings 3. They determine what kind of playstyle you prefer your leader to take on. The diplomacy skill tree will essentially make you, a diplomat. Family, foreign affairs, and majesty. Giving you perks that will help you maintain foreign domestic affairs, diplomats are good at talking and relating to other rulers or peasants within your kingdom and abroad. The martial skill tree is pretty straightforward. Authority, chivalry, and strategy. Marshals are exceptional army leaders that have an easier time maintaining supply lines, training fighters, and leading their men into battle. The stewardship tree is for people who want to do an Israelite playthrough. Domain, duty, and wealth. Stewards are amazing money grubbers. I mean, financiers, who can use their immense wealth and trade abilities to blackmail, commit usury, or generate high GDP by manipulating the books. The intrigue skill tree will make you a sneaky schemer, intimidation, skullduggery, and temptation. Basically assassins, this lifestyle will help you seduce, murder, kidnap, and find secrets on rival rulers that can be used against them later on. The learning skill tree is for the true incel nerds, the cream of the crop. Medicine, scholarship, and theology. Smart people tend to be better studied at religion, culture, and medicine, which can make them great for converting heathens to the correct religions and cultures. All of these lifestyles have a chance to generate personality traits, which can then be taught to your kids or passed down through genetics. That's an awful lot of shit to cover, so if you really want to learn about all this stuff, you can check out the wiki I linked below. The game ends when your lineage dies, and you no longer have an heir to your kingdom, so sticking your member into as many slam pigs as you can is often an effective strategy, but it does have its downsides. Nobody really likes infidelity or bastard children, in the Catholic world that is. So depending on your culture, you're going to want to marry somebody who can be your broodmare and produce you many children. After you have children, I recommend betrothing them to powerful kings to form alliances. Or just send them to a shithole in Scandinavia. The choice is ultimately yours. After you die, your children will be able to inherit your throne. Whether your next of kin is a mouth-breathing troglodyte or a capable leader is entirely up to you and how well you manage your lineage and kingdom. Depending on the succession laws you have in place, this could be an election all the way down to an appointment. There are many different laws in this game depending on culture, region, and religion. Too many to cover in this video. So again, check the wiki link below if you want a full breakdown. This is my family tree. I teach my sons well and force my daughters into matrilineal marriages with ideal candidates for alliances and genetic opulence. Is it worth it? Yes. The game is great. It doesn't necessarily tick all the boxes for a mindless AAA title, but I like that about Crusader Kings 3. It seems like a lot to get into, but I promise after an hour of desperately trying to seduce the King of England's daughter, the mechanics will become obvious and apparent. The game really takes on an open-ended kind of simulation that the player truly affects by minor choices. Having sex with the right or wrong person could lead to an entire kingdom's downfall over the generations, which has a rippling effect that changes the cultural opinion of somebody on the other side of the world who is getting overcharged for spices. How was I supposed to know that destabilizing the regions of Northern Europe would affect the trade stability of Western India? Well, I guess now I know, and I will try to exploit these mechanics for the longevity and stability of my own kingdom. I truly recommend this game to strategy game enjoyers and newcomers alike. Even if you aren't really into great conquests and world domination, you can still have just as much fun toiling around in a shitty little region with your family, forming alliances, trading, and still trying to seduce the Queen of France.